Hi, this is John, Flat 6 Motorsports, and I want to show a comparison between the 95B.1 and the 95B.2. Now this is a turbo, this is a 2015, and we have a 2019 S, so there's a little bit of differences, but they're both black, they both have red interiors, they both have the roof racks painted in black with the panoramic roof. So we thought this would be a kind of a cool comparison just to show you some of the differences and talk about some of the differences in terms of modifying your Macan, whether you have Generation 1, the 95B.1, or the facelifted 95B.2. So first things first, let's just cover a couple major differences between the two cars. Let's talk aesthetics first. Big one's gonna be the headlights, so a very different design. Now, you can retrofit the full LED version of this headlight that does have the windshield washer fluid. Let me grab that to show you. We're gonna do it on this car. That makes it look pretty similar. So here it is. These retrofit kits really freshen up the look of the car, make it look a little modern just like this one. They're available online from a variety of different sellers. Follow our build series on the Macan Turbo and you'll see how to put one of these in. All right, so other than the headlights, the front bumpers are also unique. Now the Turbo has a little bit different bumper than the S in this generation. Has some signature fog lights, daytime running lights and turn signal with enlarged openings for the intercoolers. But what they did with the new Macan S, really nice. They put this nice little lip down here. I think it looks really good. And they streamlined the air ducts with the single light here, running light, but it kind of looks a little more like the Turbo, which I think looks a little better. Now, of course, the biggest and most controversial change between the two generations are the tail lights. Some people really like the new ones, some people really don't like the new ones. I'll tell you, at first, I really didn't like the new tail lights, but having seen them in person many times now, they've kind of grown on me. They kind of give a little bit more premium look, a little more streamlined with the rest of the Porsche brand. Maybe feels a little more premium, but perhaps if you don't like them, you might see some of the things like the initial design of the Macan with the 918 Spider inspired taillights, kind of hugging the wider hips gives it a little bit different of a look in the back, but we'll leave that one up to you. The interiors of the car are largely unchanged. The biggest change is going to be in the center screen. The PCM got a major overhaul. So the screen is much bigger, more vibrant. It also gives you a better camera around the back. So when you're reversing, you're seeing a clearer picture. To accommodate the bigger screen, they got rid of the CD player. Rest in peace. I'm not sure how many people out there still have CDs. I know there are some. I have some laying around somewhere. But they removed that to rework some of the air vents. I think the look looks a lot more clean, streamlined, just a very nice, classy interior. The Macan has always done well with the interior, but the little subtle differences here are really nice. Definitely you're getting a newer product with it. And just a quick view with the lights lit up for the daytime running lights. Hoods are popped. Let's take a look underneath those. Okay, so the other major difference between the first generation and the second generation Macan is going to be the power plants. Completely unique. So the transmissions are both the same. They're DL501 transmission, the PDK that comes at both of these. However, the engines are much different. Again, we have a turbo model here, which is a 3.6 liter twin turbo motor. In the S, it's actually the same motor. It just has a shorter stroke, which makes it a 3 liter of displacement. But the engines themselves are pretty much identical other than the internals of the motor. They use the same turbos. On the facelifted Macan S, they've sourced a 3 liter single turbo. It's a twin scroll that's used in the B9 Audi S4, along with the base Panamera and Cayenne of new. It's a modular platform that the Volkswagen Audi group is gonna share across a lot of different vehicles. Good motor, has been around a long time. So the S uses a single turbo motor. However, the GTS and the Turbo use a 2.9 liter twin turbo, and the turbo sit in a hot V configuration, just like this. This has a single turbo on the top side of the motor, and that gives you a little quicker spool. That platform, the 2.9 liter, is used in the Audi RS5 along with the Panamera 4S. It's a really good platform. Excited to get into some of the tuning on that. Now let's talk about the good stuff, the aftermarket stuff on what is the same and what is different. We'll start with the engine since we have the hoods open. The intakes are completely unique. So we have an intake solution for both the previous generation, the 95B.1, which requires 2 intakes on the S, GTS, and Turbo. The 2 liter, no matter if it's the .1 or the .2, uses 1 air box that's unique to that vehicle. Now the new S, GTS and Turbo use a single airbox, and we have an intake system that we've just released for that vehicle. Both gains are actually pretty good. On the S and the GTS and Turbo of the 95B.1 adds about 10 to 11 wheel horsepower. We picked up about 14 to 15 on the new one, so pretty nice bump either way. ECUs are completely different. This ECU can be tuned with a Cobb access port, which is a great handheld device, really, you know, the best in class for this Macan. The new Macan cannot yet. We don't think Cobb is developing a tune for it. We do offer tuning for the S at this point. We will be offering tuning for the GTS and Turbo. We're doing some development, need to get some numbers for that. But good potential in both, really wakes it up. The ECU to be tuned on this car will actually need to be removed and sent to us. We'll put the tune on it, send it back to you. It's very easy to remove on this car. We have a video to show you how to do that. But unfortunately, you won't have a handheld that you can program the car. As far as the aesthetics, things like side markers, they're gonna be all the same. Wheel spacers are gonna work on the both the .1 and the .2. Exhaust, all the exhausts are gonna work with the exception of the Remus Exhaust. The Remus Exhaust uses an electronic valve actuator that is based off of the .1 that has a different pin. It's a 3-pin instead of a 4-pin on the newer one. So you can still run the Remus Exhaust, and we've done that for a client. It's actually a pretty, you know, moderately conservative exhaust, good tone. You can leave the exhaust valves open full time just by disconnecting the actuator, but if you want the valve functionality of the Remus, it will not work with the .2. That's the only exception. The fab speed, the MBRP, the AWE tuning, all muffler deletes essentially, those work on both. We have sound on both the .1 and .2. We have a video that shows you the differences with the AWE on the .1 and the .2, and the Remus on the .1 and .2 to give you a nice variety of how these motors sound a little different with those exhausts. But the exhausts themselves are identical from the front pipes back. So all that's gonna be compatible between the S, GTS, and Turbo, all these models. Now, the 2-liter did make some changes with the facelifted version. They run an OPF filter now, so the exhausts are unique for the .2 with a 2-liter. Other modifications like suspension are all gonna be the same as well, identical. So if you have a lowering module or you're on steel springs, lowering springs are gonna be the same between the two. So with the driveline being the same, things like the PowerFlex trans mount will work on both versions as well. One thing that is different, I didn't mention before, is the intercoolers. While they look identical, they're actually a little bit different because of the routing. So the AMS intercoolers that work on the SGTS and Turbo .1 will not work on the .2, unfortunately. So hopefully in the near future, somebody comes out with a intercooling solution, because the one thing about hot V turbos are they heat up pretty quick. So there you have it. Those are the differences between the 95B.1 and the facelifted 95B.2. Typical Porsche fashion, they do some moderate upgrades to the car, but still kind of hold the character of the car. We definitely enjoy both of them. We have a turbo kit, upgraded turbo kit available for the Macan S. There likely will be some for the GTS and Turbo coming, and we are working and developing a turbo upgrade kit for the Macan S, GTS, and Turbo for the 95B.1. We're excited about the power potential of both of these vehicles to be a really fun, practical, high utility vehicle. Very popular car, the best-selling Porsche out there. A lot of people enjoy them, including us. So if you have any questions regarding your Macan, we're definitely the go-to spot at flat6motorsports.com. We have more solutions than anybody available anywhere. One-stop shopping. And if you have any questions with your setup or you want any clarity, feel free to reach out to us at flat6motorsports.com. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, definitely hit the subscribe button. We put out Macan content quite often, including a build series on this Macan Turbo that's going to be pretty epic and cool. And additionally, if you have any comments, questions regarding the Macan, post them below. We like to stay active on the YouTube channel, and we'll be happy to answer anything that you have. So thanks for watching.